So it's all fun and games. So your teammates go, oh, we're outside. And then you look outside and they're not here. And you find that they went to the wrong house. Oh boy, Krayt Cup's also a great start. Morning, cows. At that moment, when I was judged by a cow. Here they come. Here comes my heroes. Aw, they're late. They went to the wrong place. What happened, man?
Hi, buddy.
You had one job. One job.
Hey guys, Viper1 here, and I am fresh back from Krayt Cup. It's been about a day or two after the events finished up. Just want to kind of recap what happened, let you guys know how it was, what happened, how we did, just touch base with it and stuff in a way, and what I saw, especially since it was hyperspace format. So, very interesting stuff. So let's just readjust the camera angle a little. There we go. So, start things off. Krayt Cup 2019 was a success. I had an incredible time with the team. We placed out of 41 teams. Viper Squadron placed 26 out of 41. On our first round out of the 5 rounds total, 4 team members us went in, and we got all 4 victories. The team winning against didn't get any. Started out good, and then it kind of went downhill from that point. Our next pairing matches caught me off guard. The team we got put up against, they had 4 wins also. And as a scout, our team captain was talking with their team captain to figure out how the lists were and everything between the 2 teams. My good friend Darren was like, dude, it's Paul Weaver. And it took me a few seconds as I was thinking about it, and I was like, Paul Weaver, like as in 4-time world championship X-Wing player, Paul Weaver. And yours truly got paired off to play a game against him, and that was awesome. That was the highlight of that whole weekend for me, was getting to play a game with world champion. But it didn't surprise me, and it was just great. I had a blast playing with him, and I was the only one really on the team who did good. Even though I lost, I didn't lose as bad as the rest of my teams did. Which, granted, his team, they had lists built that were matched perfectly to beat everything we ran. Mine was the only one Paul wasn't sure about, and I got stuck with Paul. So, but not upset or anything. It was great. After that, it was a little rough for us. We would pull out a few wins, but it wasn't too bad. But yeah, just some things that I saw while I was there. So hyperspace format, for you, some of y'all who aren't familiar, is we can only use the current re-release ships within those factions. So, I'm trying to think off the top of my head what ships were available. I know for Rebel Alliance, I can only choose from the YT-1300, U-Wing, X-Wing, and Y-Wing. Because the current hyperspace format, there's only 4 ships available for each faction. That's currently out. Scum, it was the Fire Spray, the Fang Fighter. Really, I can't remember what else there was. I think it was also the Mining Guild TIE Fighters, but I didn't see anyone using them. It was mainly just Fangs and Fire Sprays being used by the Scum players. The ones at least I saw that were there. So that was the popular ships to use for hyperspace for Scum. There were a few people who were using Lando's Escape Craft Shuttle. That seemed to be a popular list for the Scum. It was 3 Fang Fighters or 2 Ace Fang Fighters, and they had Lando just to coordinate them. And Rebel Alliance, it looked like, no surprise, X-Wings. X-Wings and U-Wings. Or it would just be all Y-Wings. I think I was the only player who was using the combination of the Y-Wings with X-Wings, which caught some people off guard a little. They weren't sure what to prioritize their targets with me, because I had, if you see my previous video, my gunboat Y-Wing build. So I was running the ion cannon, R4 astromech, and veteran turret gunner. And the ships I brought was Dutch and Horton. And Horton's amazingly great in a 4-ship list. He was definitely my damage dealer within the group. Jack Porkins caught a lot of people off guard when I was using Jack Porkins for one of my X-Wing pilots. And I had Garvin. And Garvin was so-so. I had to get that focus roll to pass off the focus. And Dutch, I didn't use his target lock too much. I mainly used him every now and then, because really the only one who needed a target lock was one of the X-Wings, and I never had to do it with Horton, because Horton would just focus up and then he'd get his rerolls, because by the time I had to get towards the opponent, everything was within 0 to 1. And I was at least getting 1, 2, and sometimes even the 3 full rerolls on Horton, which was great for his ion cannon and primary. And Jack Porkins surprised me a lot. One game, 6 times in a row, took a stress, didn't keep the stress, didn't hurt myself. And my opponents weren't counting on that to happen. So Jack Porkins was really great. I would do the Talon rolls, K turns. Sometimes I would do that and then follow up with the wings closed and do the focus boost and take a stress, and I would do it back to back and take no damage, and it made Jack very maneuverable, which really surprised me, and I was highly satisfied with the results I got out of Jack Porkins. So a lot of people started telling me, they said, we're going to start running Jack Porkins, and that made me pretty happy to know that something I did made people interested in a ship they didn't think about running. And it was great, because with the 4 ships, I also had all pilot skill 4s. So more like I was shooting before most stuff, unless there were 5s and 6s, which there weren't a whole lot. I didn't run into blocker issues too much. That was one lucky part. If they did try to block me, I was able to outmaneuver them. So, other than that, got some sweet price support. We all got the hard plastic cards for, I forget the clone pilot's name. I know it's a special ability with his side arcs. So we got a hard plastic card version of him. We got some range rulers. We got a range 1 and 2 ruler. They didn't have a 3, which threw a lot of people off. We weren't sure why they didn't have the 3 range. But all it was on each section, it just had the clone trooper helmet with the Krayt mascot symbol painted on the helmet, and that was actually pretty cool. Got some other target lock acrylics with the Krayt symbol, and it was a pretty eventful day. It was a lot of fun. Granted, we were hurting afterwards, playing 5 rounds of X-Wing all day long. The tables were kind of lower than what we were used to, so we were really leaned over that whole time. And I know me and Scott were hurting the most after that, especially Scott, with the way his back is and stuff. So I knew he was hurting. But I was like, I think the only really downside, I knew there was some other stuff outside the X-Wing that happened. That was pretty bad. But the actual event itself, not a problem at all. It was good. I liked the learning experience from it. It was great, especially getting this Paul Weaver. He showed me a cool Boba Fett build, which I'll probably do in a future video. Just to talk about what he used against me. And then for the day 2 event, went back out there. Not all of us went back. Some of us were too tired or hurting or just couldn't afford to go back. So I drove on back up there myself. Met up with Calvin, Scott, Josh, Austin. I think it was only 2 people that didn't go back, or 3 people. It was Patrick, Darren, and Kyle. And Kyle and Patrick, you guys have seen the live streams from the main channel if you've watched it. Patrick did all right. He used 2 fangs and a fire spray. Kyle has 3 silencers, and Scott with his TIE fighters and TIE Reaper. So Darren 3 fire sprays generic, no upgrades. Doesn't get any more simple than that. It's like 1.0, wave 1. Let's think, what else is there that happened during the event? The second day event, I know a lot of people didn't like the format of it. Play till you lose a match, then your wins reset back to 0. But I know every time you win a match, you get a prize. If you win 2 matches in a row, you can choose a higher tier prize or 2 of the level 1 prize, and so on and so on. I never got past 3. I did 3 once, and I couldn't win towards my 4th. And for that day, I started out with the triple Star Fortress from the Resistance, the bombers, and all I had on them was the pilot skill 1. I think it's Cobalt Squadron pilots. They all had veteran turret gunners, and just one of them had C-3PO on it, and I was highly impressed at how effective that was. It was, 3 shields each, 9 hull. So 36 that my opponent had to chew through, 1 defense die, and I was doing that double tap because the Resistance Bomber has a front arc 3 attack and the turret double-sided for 2 attacks. So it was hard for my opponent to avoid being shot at once. Sometimes they would stop me from being able to shoot 3 times, or not 3 times, twice at them with a single ship. But with C-3PO, it was really effective. I would use that to either go ahead and focus up or rotate one of the arcs on the other bombers, and he would get a calculate token after coordinating and a stress. But it was great because if I knew if I was going to stop a Resistance Bomber, which has a stop move now, I would just focus it up, give it what it needed, stop, and then it would throw my opponent off and be like, huh. And it was a lot of fun. Krayt Cup. So, but yeah, Krayt Cup was good. I'm looking forward to this Saturday. We have a tournament going on at our own hobby store this Saturday. And talking with Scott, I think we're going to try and record some of the games so we can post them up for y'all. So keep an eye out for that on the main channel, for sure. And yeah. So I would highly recommend it. If any of y'all get a chance and y'all watch this channel and y'all want a great event, look up Carolina Krayt. And just go. It's great, especially with the team format. Not often do you see a team format. But as always, if you guys enjoyed these videos, especially since I'm now going to try and put myself in the videos, since it was requested by some people who talk to me. They say, hey, we actually want to see you, not just a graphic, which is cool if we see the graphic. So I'm going to start putting myself in these videos. Be sure to like the videos, subscribe, hit the little bell icon. And as always, guys, fly casual. Fight for one out.